Hello everyone and welcome to the Weekly Rewind presented by Attractions Magazine. This episode is for Friday, November 27th, 2015. I'm your host, Banks Lee. We're going to look back at the past 7 days, as always, on our Twitter feed, @Attractions. So let's get started last Friday on November 20th. Over at Busch Gardens in Tampa, we got a look at some construction progress for their new coaster in 2016, Cobra's Curse. At IAAPA earlier this past week, they unveiled the model for this coaster, and I am very excited to ride this. Lots of trackers in place right now. At Mega Convention on Twitter shared this photo of the calm, as they say, calm before the storm, before the Megacon Fan Days started this past weekend. Not often you get a look at what a convention space looks like before all the vendors and everything gets put into place. We'll have a little bit more of a look at Megacon Fan Days here in a little bit. Also on November 20th, Cowgirls Rock Bar Orlando opened over at the iDrive 360 complex. Brand new cowboy barbecue style bar there. They've got servers that dance on top of the bar. They have a mechanical bull, which you can see right here, that you can actually ride in the bar. Looks like a fun place for adults and college kids and that kind of crowd to enjoy a night on International Drive. November 21st, as I said earlier, Megacon Fan Days happened. This is the first time that they've held this version of Megacon here in Orlando. Usually they have the big Megacon that's around in springtime, sometimes April, May, around that time. But this is a new, smaller event. We were there interviewing lots of different cosplayers as well. You can see right here, this is the Frost Sisters from Instagram fame. Also interviewed some people from Back to the Future, Gravity Falls, Harry Potter, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Doctor Who, and more. You'll see a full segment on a future episode of the show. This was a unique thing at Megacon Fan Days. It was a Funko Pop vinyl vending machine, brand new. We interview the people behind this. You'll see that in the show as well, but it's basically like any sort of vending machine that you would see with sodas and candy and stuff like that, except you order and buy a pop figure that then gets dispensed right there to you. Pretty cool. At night on November 21st, we're in Downtown Celebration for their annual Now Snowing event. They have ice skating, horse-drawn carriage rides, train rides, and of course, snow in Florida. Here you see our show reporter, Joe Vaughn, skating in their ice skate rink there in downtown. And as I said, lots and lots of snow, or as we say, snope. It's not real snow, of course, because it's Florida, but it's kind of like a soapy mixture, and it gives that great sense of being in a winter wonderland. You can check out this past week's episode of the show for a look at this event. November 22nd, we shared this Vine post of the Osborne Family Spectacle of Dancing Lights at Hollywood Studios. Of course, as I've always said, this is the final year for this display, and we're going to have an article in our newest issue of Orlando Attractions Magazine dedicated to the history of these lights, so be sure to pick up a copy when that comes out. November 23rd, this is a look at the current wait times on that day for rides at the Magic Kingdom. Of course, Thanksgiving week, big crowds here in Central Florida as a lot of schools are off for the week, so long lines on the rides. November 23rd, we were at Gaylord Palms for their annual Christmas at Gaylord Palms event. This is the tree that's in the giant atrium there. Of course, there's alpine snow tubing. This is a really fun thing. Some snow hills inside of the convention center area at Gaylord Palms that you can tube down. Of course, the big draw every year is their ice exhibit. This year themed to 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This year new is a Build-A-Bear pop-up shop at Gaylord Palms for their Christmas event. You can get some special merchandise and outfits that you only get at Gaylord Palms at this little pop-up shop. So you're definitely worth checking that out if you're big into Build-A-Bear. On November 24th, we were back over at Gaylord filming this past week's episode of the show. So if you missed that, you can check that out. It was all about, like I said earlier, Now Snowing and IAAPA. November 25th, over at Artagon Marketplace, we shared this photo of the Sky Zone Trampoline Park. It says right there on the sign coming soon, but it is now, as of this video, officially open. So wall-to-wall trampolines. I can't wait to go try this out. I love these kind of places. I really hope that we get to go and cover this place. Also, November 25th, BioReconstruct on Twitter shared this look at the current state of Sapphire Falls as you see it from the Universal Garden Walk. Lots of construction going on here for this new hotel, supposed to open sometime next year. BioReconstruct also shared this photo of Esmu, the cow from the old Twister queue. This is in a brand new shop at Universal Studios Florida that sells props from the park, both current and former attractions and shows and stuff like that. And the cow, like I said, was from Twister, and already it was bought. And finally, on November 26th, we'll end it with a look at the exterior for the Star Wars launch bay. Should be opening up within the next week here at Disney's Hollywood Studios, so be sure to follow us on Twitter at Attractions for full coverage when this opens up. And that's going to do it this week for the Weekly Rewind. As I said, this past week's episode of the show, we went to Now Snowing in Celebration and the IAAPA Attractions Expo, so be sure to catch that if you missed it. And until next Friday, we'll see you later. Have fun, guys.